What's up, friends? It's time for this week's episode of Heal You. You know, the space where we don't sugarcoat healing. We serve it up raw with a side of joy, intention, and growth. Your girl Shai here, and today's episode is one of those conversations that might just tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, it's time to check in with you. Because today, friends, we're talking about becoming the best version of you that you actually like. Not the version that people tolerate, depend on, or expect, but the one you wake up to and you're proud of. The one that makes you smile when you look in the mirror. You ready? Go ahead and grab those journals and that notebook, pen, and let's get started and have some fun unpacking it all. So let's start with the version of you you've been. Take a moment and think about that version. I'm sure you'll be able to understand the one that I'm talking about. And write down who that version is. Is it the people pleaser? Ooh. Or the go-to for everyone else? This one. The strong one who's held it together so long that you forgot what it feels like to fall apart. Or the one who adjusts and shape shifts just to keep the peace. In other words, the one who puts the needs and the wants of everyone else before others, and we do what is needed to make them happy. Write down. Write it down. Who are you? You know, we wear masks and we call it survival. But underneath all of that, friends, there's the version of us that's been whispering to be seen. Take a moment. Stop right here. Stop doing what you're doing. No more multitasking. But truly take a moment and ask yourself, am I proud of who I've become? Or have I learned how to survive the noise? There's no shame in survival. But let me tell you, we weren't placed on this earth just to survive. We were placed here to be. B-E. To be. Now let's get real. Let's be totally honest and transparent. Who is that version of you that you actually like? The one who sets boundaries and keeps them. No means no. The one who chooses peace over performance. The one who can laugh, love, and live without overthinking everything. That version exists. We're not creating that version from scratch. We're just reintroducing that version to ourselves and to others. Take a second and write this question down. And then maybe later think about it, reflect, and then answer. What qualities do I admire in myself when I'm at peace? What qualities do I admire in myself when I'm at peace? We need to understand that version of you isn't perfect, but they're honest. That version is whole, and that version doesn't shrink. Becoming that version of yourself is less about becoming and more about unlearning. Unlearning the guilt, the need to prove, the fear of being too much or not enough. You know, everyone knows, if you're listening to my podcast, I recently celebrated year 52. And I always look forward to my daddy's birthday post for me. This year's birthday post still echoes in my soul because he said, "I have watched my daughter grow whole, not old." That one hit me right here. It means I'm becoming. It truly means I'm becoming. And I'm proud and I admire that person when I look at her in the mirror. And friends, here's where the shift happens. You can want to like yourself, but do you actually spend the time needed with the version of you that you want to be? Do you pour into yourself? Because you'll know when you're becoming, because becoming that version looks like saying no without a 3-paragraph explanation. Speaking to yourself with the same love you give to others. Letting go of people who only liked you when you were broken. Letting go of them. Celebrating your softness versus hiding it. Letting the wall down to be the best version of you, to become. And understanding the work is daily. It's not always pretty. Sometimes it looks like crying in the shower, followed by standing in the mirror and saying to yourself, "I still choose me. I will choose me." And knowing you won't always get applause for healing. They won't. But guess what? Friends, you will gain peace. And peace is louder than applause ever could be. The joy of knowing and feeling and understanding who you are is louder than any applause or recognition you receive from anyone else. So let's close out today with a 3-part action. We're calling it the 3 A's: affirm, align, and act. Affirm, align, and act. Affirm who you are becoming. Speak it out loud. Let them know. Let yourself know. I am allowed to like myself. I am becoming someone I respect. I am worthy of softness, peace, and joy. Affirm. Align. Align your choices with that version of who you speak to be. Ask yourself, with the version of me I admire, say yes to this, whatever that action is. With the version of me stay in this friendship. With the version of me skip rest to prove who I am, to prove my worth. Act. Act like it's already yours. Walk like that version of who you are. Breathe like that version of who you are. And speak like that version of who you are. Act as if you are already becoming. Because you're not waiting on permission. You, my friends, are the permission. You are the permission. This episode, friends, wasn't about changing who you are. It's about returning to the version of you that feels aligned, the one that feels joyful, the one that feels like home, the one that feels authentically who you are. And if nobody told you today, you're doing the work. You're listening, right? You're jotting down your notes, right? You're reflecting on what you hear, right? You're doing the work. You are becoming. And baby, let me tell you, that version of you, that version is fire. That version is worthy. And that version of you is rising. Be proud of yourself. Understand that each step you take forward is a step in the right direction. Give yourself grace and mercy if you kind of shift a little bit and you get off track. Just realign yourself. Stand in the mirror and remind yourself that you are worthy, that you are choosing you, that you will choose you, and work on it daily. Work on it through the pain, work on it through the happiness, the joy, the peaceful moments. Be mindful of who you are. Write yourself some affirmation statements to remind you of who you are becoming. It's here. It's inside of us. Sometimes we lose sight of it, but it's okay. We just realign, affirm, and act on it so that we can become the best version of ourselves. Thank you so much. Thank you, as always, for spending this time with me on Heal You. And if this touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, rate it, and come back next week for another soul-touching, growth-giving moment. Next week, we're going to dive into a powerful episode titled, When Peace Feels Unfamiliar. That episode will talk about why chaos sometimes feels safer than stillness, and how to embrace peace even when it doesn't feel natural yet. As always, you don't want to miss it. But until next time, friends, continue to love on yourself. Like for real, love on yourself. Because you're not just becoming, you're blooming. And I'm proud of you. See you next week.